everybody.
Hello.
Welcome. We are in week 2, and as you can see, I am in my very fancy recording studio, my car, which is what I seem to be living in, running kids and bikes and lacrosse and all of that stuff. So, welcome. This week is week 2, and we're focusing on how to become your own nail care detective. So,
correct.
Let's rock and roll.
Yeah.
How do I
this
get?
This is like it's sort of a climbing over a hill kind of week.
It is. Oh, geez, Louise. Hang on. This is very annoying.
That's okay.
Navigator. All right. I don't know why.
We'll just go with that view.
Let's see if this works. Okay. So here is what you will learn this week. All of my recording things are all up on my grill. Yes, I want you to be somewhere else. Okay, you're down at the bottom now. Okay, play. Okay, so I'll edit that part out. So here's what you're going to learn this week. You're going to learn how to identify your nail struggles. You're going to learn how to become a nail care detective. And you're going to learn where to look for actions and activities that may be compromising your nail health and nail goals.
Yep.
So, Anna, you go through the struggles.
Okay. So I'm pretty sure I don't really have to tell you what your nail struggles are. You know, of whether they're continuously peeling. That could be your lifestyle. It could also be your natural nail plate layers and how closely tight bonded they are. Do they break? That's usually going to go with lifestyle. It can also go with weather. I am breaking nails now that it is snowing. That's just rude. Because even though we've got them very oiled, the cold weather stiffens up our nail plate, just like it stiffens up our bones and our muscles. And so we're like, oh. So they are especially more inclined to break during the winter. Do your biter pick? That's just our own evilness. And then your polish cracking, lifting, peeling. There's a whole bunch of things that can play into that. One is how you use your hands. One is your weather. One is your lifestyle, your job, all of these things. Are you doing the Fab 5 wrap? We could just go on and on. So there's a ton of stuff to learn to become your own nail care detective and your own nail care expert.
Right. So figure out where your issues are, and you probably already know, like Anna said. So how do we do that? Well, you put on your detective cap. So what does that look like? So like the little meme that we shared of go slow to grow. So we really want you to focus this week and spend a week and just slow down and observe how your hands and nails interact in your world. So you're going to be looking for actions and activities throughout your day that could be contributing to your nail issues. I would also love you to consider your health. What's going on? For me, I have Hashimoto's thyroiditis and rheumatoid arthritis and stress. So stress, like Anna's talked about many, many times, you can have good stress, you can have bad stress, planning a wedding, having a baby, moving to a new job, starting a new job, getting your hair cut. It can be bad stress. So
it could be a bad stress if they cut it wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, I had that happen once.
I don't trust. I
had a short wedge and she used clippers that were way too short and I ended up being like, I cried for days.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll move on.
So as you're observing all of these things, this is an image from Atomic Habits. James Clear book is awesome. Totally recommend it. We want you to look out for your habits because, like we talked about in week 1, what is really the core of building a successful new habit or changing your results or getting long-lasting change in your life is really at the core focusing on your identity and who are you, who will you become, what does that kind of person who has that kind of lifestyle and those results, that's the inner core. The processes, or those are the habits that help you build the results or the outcomes that you're seeking. But if you do not address the core of this, of your identity, your changes are just going to be temporary. So here's a story again. This is from the book Atomic Habits. I'm going to go ahead and read it. So this is a story of Brian Clark, an entrepreneur from Boulder, Colorado. He provides a good example of identity. For as long as I can remember, I've chewed my fingernails, Clark told me. It started as a nervous habit when I was young and then morphed into an undesirable grooming ritual. One day I resolved to stop chewing my nails until they grew a bit. Through mindful willpower alone, I managed to do it. So that's important right down there, the mindful willpower. But then Clark did something surprising. I asked my wife to schedule my first ever manicure. My thought was that if I started paying attention to maintain my nails, I wouldn't chew them. And it worked, but not for the monetary reason. What happened was the manicure made my fingers look really nice for the first time. And the manicurist even said, other than chewing my nails, I had really healthy, attractive nails. Suddenly, I was proud of my fingernails. And even though that's something I've never aspired to, it made all the difference. I've never chewed my nails since, not even a single close call. And it's because I now take pride in properly caring for them. So
Right.
Again, where that transition was, he became proud. He changed his identity. He all of a sudden was someone who had healthy, attractive nails. And that is what makes a difference over what willpower alone, because willpower gives out. It's temporary. It's short-term. It's not sustainable. It's like trying to run a marathon when you've just eaten Twinkies and a Monster energy drink. It's not you're going to crash.
You're going to crash.
It's not good. So again, what we're doing here is when you're trying to change your habits without addressing your identity, change is most likely going to be temporary. So when we address the identity, we're able to make that change more permanent. It's not saying you're not going to have setbacks, because that's fine. But
Right.
the whole goal of all of this, the goal is not just to grow long nails. The goal is to become a nail care expert. And we want to help you treat your nails like jewels, not tools, and have that be the way you identify as a human and how you approach your life.
Right.
So where do we look for clues? We, as we've talked about this, and I can't remember which of the gals in the group suggested this, but because originally we're like fingerprints, but we're going to call this the nail polish method. So pretend throughout this week that your nails and fingers, because it's everywhere,
Yep.
all of them are coated with this gorgeous wet nail polish. So think of, like, as you go through your day, where are you going to leave your fingerprints? So
And the one that we just posted on Instagram of, pee before polish, of like, what you have to do, especially if you haven't done that.
Yep.
How are you dealing with your pants or your shorts? And it's like, oh my God, I just might have to go to my husband.
Honey, I think I'm just crap out of luck on that one.
Oh no, I've done it many, many times.
Well, I don't have a husband.
I know. Well, that's
I'm not going to ask my kids to pull my pants down. Anyway,
so you're going to figure out how to do something with your hands, and definitely
exactly.
Polish.
There's creative ways to do this. So where do we look? So let's start with your house. Let's go room by room. In your bedroom, what are some of the nail care hazards that are going on there?
Yeah, like you said earlier, making your bed. I passed that one on to Corey.
Putting away laundry, digging in your dresser, putting clothes away, in your closet, hanging clothes, pulling clothes down. Do you have a shoe bin that's a nightmare like mine? Are you digging through these shoes to find that one pair? What's going on? And pay attention to where you're leaving those wet nail polish prints. Yeah. Bathroom is a big hazard zone. Shaving. Do you remember that time I was shaving and my razor slipped and it sliced my nail like halfway down?
You had 2 slices through it or something, and
a few nails got sliced, but one, it went right down to the middle. Oh, it bled so much in there. Anyway, so bathrooms are dangerous. Just the water alone. What are you doing when you wash your hands? How long are your hands in the shower or in the bath? All of the water strips away all of your natural oils. Kitchen, major hazard zone.
Oh my gosh, just opening the refrigerator, opening the drawers and the doors and
getting the groceries away, getting a knife out of the drawer, getting silverware for dinner, cooking, cleaning, all of those things. That's where we wear gloves. So again, pay attention to where you would leave those wet polish prints. Living room. So many things happen in the living room. Vacuuming, cleaning, laundry, hanging out, playing with your kids, playing with your dog, cleaning up dog vomit, like all of the things that we do in life, kid vomit.
Well, and even I broke a couple of nails trying to grab my dog who was jumping off the sofa, and that was bad.
Yep.
That was where I came up with the rule, just let it drop.
Just let it drop. And I did that the other day in the laundry room. I had one of those laundry pods, and it dropped, and I went to grab it, and I totally dinged my nail. Or it didn't chip my nail, but it chipped my polish that I just put on that morning. I was like, so, dangerous. Dining room, setting
A lot like the kitchen.
all the kitchen, all of those things. Your kids' rooms, danger zone. Holy moly. And another point of caution when you go into your kids' room, if your kids' rooms end up looking like my kids' rooms, you're going to be frustrated and angry of why does your room look like this? And this is not an acceptable way for humans to
live.
Why
do I have to clean it?
Exactly. Yeah. And so you can
do not use your fingernails to pull apart Legos. No.
Do that. Legos, deadly.
No.
Or fix Nerf guns. Or I mean, I only have boys. I don't know the girls' toy hazards. I would guess like maybe a Barbie. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So your garage, I know you guys have seen my posts of I put chains in my car. I've changed headlights. It's like, where are the hazards? That's a super dangerous area. Gardening, very dangerous for your nails if you're not wearing all of the gloves and stuff.
Especially digging into the dirt, and when your nails are longer, they bend.
Yep.
And for me, they bend right because where my hyponychium is it's closer to the tips. It's closer to the top of my finger. I can't talk here, but where it separates at the sidewall is very, very low. And so that's where it'll tear, and it'll tear right into my nail bed and bleed like, so gardening. So use your tools a lot.
Purses, danger zone. Slow down reaching into your purse. Like, okay, I've got fig bars. I've got my wallet. It's like, where's my, we have birthday candles in my purse? Okay. Yeah, sure. That's great. So, slowing down, digging in your purse and your backpack. Again, zippers, slow down on the zippers. And one of the things that I've found very helpful is having little sub bags.
Yeah.
So I don't have to dig. I can dig for one bigger thing that's soft. But, it's like all of that in and out, the zippers and the digging and all of those things, super dangerous. Opening
your freaking car.
I'd noticed that now that I have free edges. I'm like, man.
That's what Anna's talking about.
Another big one, seatbelts. I've noticed this. This is where I've gotten a lot of tipware of reaching back to get my seatbelt. If I'm just digging with my fingers claw first, I'm going to get tipware. So it's like, now we need to awkwardly do it and keep my fingers more straight. So it's the pads of my fingers and not the palms of my fingers. Your seat belt, these darn little buckles, especially in the cold, it's gonna break things.
And pushing that button.
Yep, pressing that button, digging into the middle console, getting into the jockey box, hollering at your kids to stop hitting each other in the back seat, throwing them fruit snacks. And that involves digging in your purse. And then, anyway, so all of those dangers there. So room by room in your life, go through and identify where your problem areas are. And with that, I'm a pumpkin.
Oh, you gotta go.
I gotta go. So we can do this last one, and then we can pick it up tomorrow.
Okay.
So after you've done room by room, look at your work. What do you do for work? Are you working with fabric? I know we have swim instructor in that group. Are you... what are other work things? Food prep. That was a couple of the other gals in the group. They do food prep. So you have to have are you a masseuse? Are you, there's a healthcare professional. Do you have to wash your hands all the time? What are the things in your work life where you're going to leave those wet nail polish prints? Same with your hobbies, like Anna with her horses. Any kind of sports.
Your gardening, jewelry making. Oh my gosh, jewelry making and dealing with wire and those kind of things. All
of those. Sports, any kind of sports, you're going to be moving fast and exposing your nails to all sorts of hazards. So it's not to say that you have to get rid of all of those things. It's adjusting your life and your work and the way that you move and your goals for what you want for your nails. You kind of have to compromise in some ways. It's like, there are some things that I'm just not going to give up. I am not going to give up my hot showers every day. I'm just not. So there's a cost to that. There's a consequence to that. The consequence of that is I have to oil after I get out of the shower, and my manicure's not going to last as long.
Yep.
It's the cost benefit. So economics, and there you go. So, yeah. Okay. Well, we will pick this up tomorrow.
Okay. Alrighty. See ya.
Okay. See ya. Thanks.
Bye.
So welcome back, everybody. Take two. I am again in my car. I'm in a Walmart parking lot this time, which is in and of itself. Weird things are happening. We'll just say that. But let's get back to what we're talking about. And I had extra time to think about this too, because I didn't go into Walmart. I still have to go into Walmart. I'm not looking forward to that. But I stopped at a store to get breakfast this morning. And I was like, oh yes, all of the hazards of groceries and the store and like getting the cart or getting a basket, grabbing for things on the shelf. The hardest thing, I was like, oh, this is a big one. So my phone, I don't like carrying a purse anymore most of the time. So I have
look at that
wallet. So this is my wallet. So I'm like, oh, well, look at all the danger reaching into all of that, because I have it stuffed to things because that's what we do.
And I do that too. So sorry, you guys, if it looks like I'm not paying attention to you, because my camera is there, but my little screen of Kirsten is over on the.
Okay. Now it kind of blocks the text, so I'm going to move us again.
Yeah. So just I am paying attention to y'all.
Yeah.
So yeah, like when I have my credit cards the one that I use the most, I've turned it so that it's not slid into the pocket so that you only get that much to grab onto. Mm-hmm. I've turned it sideways so I have enough to grab onto. And yes, you're right. I sit there and I use my thumb to pull that out. I'm a little more okay pulling it out, the card out this way, when I know my nails have 5 layers of polish.
Yeah. So so it's like I had to redo my mani yesterday, and then I helped my kids pack and clean my house. Translation: it was angry cleaning and angry packing. It was a rough evening as a mom yesterday. I didn't break anything, but there's moderate tipware. And even though I was angry cleaning, and my house looks great right now, by the way. I don't have that much tipware.
Yay!
And eventually I'm like, okay, put on gloves. So I put gloves on at least to protect my nails.
Yeah.
Get a little bit of hydration in the meantime. So anyway, this is about lifestyle. It works for cleaning.
You guys, this is a huge deal for Kirsten. Like, huge. I don't know. Huh?
It's a huge deal.
We've been friends for a decade, and I have never seen you
do the most I've had polish on my nails in my entire life.
Yeah.
Entire life.
They look great.
Seriously, the last 3 weeks I've had more manicures than probably the sum total of my entire life. Not joking, not exaggerating, like legit.
A lot of people don't know, but when you know, I do this a lot, and I don't think I talk about it enough, is that when you get enough tipware, you get a teeny little chip, and I know I can't deal with it that night and redo a whole manicure, I will go back with that color, and I will just, what you want to do is clean off your brush a fair amount, so you have almost dry brush.
What I started doing is getting one of my little tiny makeup brushes and doing it, because I found that I made too big of a goop. Even when I cleaned it off or I smeared it, like it made a mess. So I use like a little tiny makeup brush and just with the noise.
Yep. That'll work. And I do that a lot, and it gets you through another couple days, because you're gonna get more tipware, and so it's like, well, you might as well wear off the new stuff. Mm-hmm. So that helps kind of seal in the tips more, and
And my biggest thing is preventing it from chipping, because that's where I struggled before. Is it would just peel my nail back with the polish. Even if I wasn't picking at it for whatever reason, I had enough willpower that day to not pick at it.
You're getting enough water, just that little bit of water to help push it off.
Like I reach into my jeans or whatever, and it would just, or I'd look at it wrong.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the lifestyle.
Grocery shopping is part of your lifestyle, so it's part of work and life and all those things. So like pay attention just wherever you are, that wet fingernail polish method of where are you leaving prints. So we talked about work, hobbies, it's like swimming. Anna has horses. I have children. Is that my hobby? I guess it's kind of a hobby now.
You type a lot, which can give you tipware. Especially because as my nails get longer, you'll notice that your nail tips are probably hitting the keys more.
Yes.
That's tipware.
This week I'm noticing when I was typing, I'm like, ooh, I have tips on my keyboard again. That's been a while.
Yeah. So. What else for you? I can't think, but like there was one gal, she works at a corn, what's the big silo things? Like a corn processing place for like dried corn.
Okay.
And so she had to dig her hands into and scoop corn to keep testing it, to keep looking and making for quality control. And I'm like,
where city?
All the, oh yeah, and as well as the powder of the corn, just sucking the
oils.
All the oils gone.
Yeah, if you think of corn starch, that's where it comes from, is from the corn, and it just
Wow. My hobbies, of course, horses, gardening. I talk about especially like this bend that happens right here for me, because my nails release on my sidewalls like halfway down here. Mm-hmm. So if it bends, it's a lot of times, if it's a really deep bend, it's going to bend way back here. And that's why I have a tear that's happened here. And so, you know, if you're doing these things that making the bed a lot, that bend your nails a lot, eventually, you know, the nails are, especially when they're oiled, they're forgiving, but they're not
rubber bands,
and they're not unbreakable. Even a rubber bands break. So it's like these kind of things happen. And I like to do jewelry making and wires. Wow. And what were some of the other hobbies that people, even knitting and crocheting.
Crocheting strips the oils right off.
It just sucks that oil out. So
especially where I deal with eczema and psoriasis, and man, it like totally cropped up horribly the last couple of days. So
who's stressed?
Stress. I don't have any stress. It's fine. I'm good.
Right? If you do sports, there's girls, lovely ladies and gentlemen. They, volleyball, swimming, all of these things just affect. And so then your lifestyle determines the length of your nails.
Yes, indeed. All right. So pay attention to those things. All right. Yeah. Slides. Okay. Next one. So
this is a big one.
This is a big one. Let me see if I can move our faces.
And this morning, I was so glad when when we put change your story here, because your identity really is what's the story you tell yourself? Who are you in this story of your life? And Justine and I were just doing yoga, and we were doing, she had the wrong arm to twisting to the wrong leg or whatever. And she's like, I'm so stupid. And I'm like, what are you doing? No, sorry, my phone's going off. Like, change your story, girl. Stop telling yourself that. So this is I think that's why we put it in big old letters in red, because this is your story. And
can you see this? Is this bar blocking the bottom of the screen? Can you see that? It says mute, stop video, manage participants. Do you see that at all?
No.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure because it's blocking my screen. Okay, great. So yes, the identity. It's huge. And so
going through your day of what am I?
Yep. What are the stories you're telling yourself of actually? And we had one of the gals post it. It's like, I'm so clumsy. Like somebody said it in the group overnight when I saw it this morning.
So many people.
Like, I'm so clumsy. Blah. It's like, these are stories that we tell ourselves that shape our identity. And like, I've always been like, I don't care about my nails. And we talked about this, I think on the week 1, but I didn't care about my nails. And really, and when I talked about how it could be an emotional thing when you come to what story you are telling you, mine was when I was a teenager, my best friends, male and female, both, they would make fun of me and tell me that I had man hands and they look like nail hands. And so it's like, I just hid my hands. And so there wasn't any motivation for me to stop picking or biting or whatever, because they were man hands and I didn't want man hands. It was embarrassing. Right. And so that's shaped a lot of how.
And look, to do your hands. I mean, they're so not. They're so pretty. It's like
have moments where I feel like they are, but whatever. We could get into more of that later, but you know, it's like, so I'm sloppy, I'm clumsy, I'm so busy, I'm always late, I'm not good at nail art. I've never hello, that was me. I was terrible at all of those things, but I just started practicing. And each time, so the point of where we're going, and we'll see this in the next story, but your self-image is, I can't read that last line. Will you read the last line, Anna?
Your self-image is getting in the way of who you want to be.
Who you want to be. So your new identities require new evidence. So your habits, so all of the things that you do embody your identity. Each time that you oil your nails, you embody the identity of a nail care expert. Each time you file your nails, you embody the identity of a nail care expert. And each time you paint your nails or try a new technique, or even just watch another video of someone like Williams or any of the other amazing nail artists we have in our community, you are embodying the identity of a nail care expert.
And at that point, a nail artist. And so many people say, I'm not artistic. You know, you're so talented. It's like, you know what? I've watched my daughter draw. She draws since she was 12 years old, actually, before that. But at about 12 was when she consistently started drawing every day. Mm-hmm. And she would draw for an hour or more every day. Why are calligraphers good at what they do? Because they practice for an hour every day. Why are these nail artists really good? Because they've been doing at least 2 manicures, sometimes up to 10 or 12 every week. So, and then you watch them, and some of them will post, some of our really good ones, like Manicured. She's posted what she was like to her nail art like 2 years ago compared to now. Mm-hmm. And it looked like 12-year-old nail art. And awesome. And now she's a true artist, and only because of doing it all of the time. So you are as good as your practice. Why am I a good writer? Because I write all the time.
And this is part of why we're doing the 30-day challenge, and why we start with the intensive hydration, and then it's the Fab 5. So mini before mani. It's like all of that repetition. So however many times, like for me, it's like my polish lasts really about 3 days right now. We'll see. I'm hoping it actually is starting to increase the length and the tip wear that I can get out of these as my tips grow longer. But it's that repetition. So even in just 3 weeks, I am much, much better at just putting one solid coat on my fingers and doing the cleanup polishing. And like knowing which brushes work best for my nail shape and size. And it's like, who even knew that we need to figure out what our nail shape is? Like, I didn't even, anyway. Right. So this is all part of why we're doing the 30-day challenge. So we're helping you support and cement into your life all of these routines, these rituals that support nail health. Say that 10 times fast. And also, each time you do any one of these things, you are giving your brain solid evidence that you are a nail care expert, and you are a nail artist, and you are the person who has the type of nails that you want.
Yep. So this is so huge, you guys.
Okay. So
if you just take away one thing from this whole 30 days, is those last 2 slides.
Yes. Or this one. This sums up the last 2
slides. Well, that's true. Take the whole thing, but really it's this whole thing of your story and who you want to embody, and what are those tips, what are those strategies to get you there. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So to sum it up, there are 2 steps to change your identity or the story that you're telling yourself. Step 1, like we talked about in week 1, decide your nail goals, decide the type of person you want to be. Step 2, prove it to yourself with small wins. So like we all have this brain chatter, inner critic, all of those inner judge. There are lots of different names to call it, that you'll hear the voices like, oh, like every time you do something wrong, it's a self-confirming bias of, oh, I broke a nail, I'm so clumsy. Oh, I broke a nail, my nails are so weak. Oh, I broke a nail, or I chipped a nail, or I bit my nails, I'm just a bad person. Like our brain has these stories to reconfirm the identity that we have in ourselves, because there's a lot of psychological sidebar. Psychologically, our brains have a very vested interest in maintaining the truths that we view about the world around us, including within ourselves. Okay, another TMI, maybe big share, but when I was also, my friends who told me I had man hands also always told me I was fat. So even now, even when I weighed the lace that I've weighed since like 6th grade, like a couple years ago when things were really stressful, I would look in the mirror and I would still hear the voice in my head, I'm fat. I look fat. It's like, oh my gosh, people, I'm almost 40 years old and I am still dealing with these things from when I was 13 and 14 and 15. So, you know,
I was going to say, and my story of what I saw of you was, oh my God, she's lost a lot of weight.
It wasn't healthy. I did.
And yeah.
like
and you look so much better and so much healthier now, and you have such a better glow. I mean, it's like we lose too much weight and we sort of get this gray color.
I know, it's like walking corpse,
right?
Like Monty Python, bring out your dead. So in any case, it's when you're going to have these insidious voices in your head. Some could be rooted from childhood, some could just be whatever. But the more that you're able to give your brain, it's like, look, I oiled my nails. Look, I polished my nails. Look, I am on the Bliss nail bar and I'm connecting with my nail buddies. So your brain, all of a sudden, it's like, wait a second, this past identity that we keep telling ourselves, there's this cognitive dissonance. It doesn't fit with our old perspective of reality. And the more that you're able to show it that you have evidence for this new identity, your brain will start to relax and you'll hear those voices less. It's not saying they will go away permanently. Like I said, I'm still having the voices in my head. I saw a really funny meme this morning. It was like, you know how people on the memes, they do the me and colon so that you know the text. Anyway, dialogue. That's the word. Good job, Kirsten. Someone was like, oh man, I always talk to myself. And then, so it's like me. I always talk to myself. Me. Oh my God, me too. Anyway. So this is changing your story and changing your identity. And really, you guys, it's been so awesome seeing how well the Bliss nail bar has gone, and seeing everyone connect and seeing everybody feel validated in their interest in this creative outlet, and also the interest in developing better nail health. I'm talking so good today, all the words.
Yeah.
So it's been very, very rewarding and humbling. And thank you, everybody. So those are the 2 steps. So we are on to the week 2 summary. So again, what are your nail struggles? Or is it biting? Is it picking? Is it peeling? Is it tip wear? Is it you're not good at getting the polish line, whatever that has a name.
Your cuticle line cleaned up.
Do we still call it cuticle line?
I do, because, and
that's what everybody else calls it.
Because most people still don't understand that, okay, that's your proximal fold. The entire planet still thinks that it's the cuticle, and which is why I have like, okay, I have to use the bad word, or the incorrect word, because that's what the planet understands.
Right.
And then slowly educate them to the right word. But it's so much easier to say cuticle than it is to say proximal nail fold.
But maybe in a few more years, we will all of the Blissettes will go forth into the world and redefine the common terminology.
Yeah.
Okay, so figure out what your nail care struggles are. And with that in mind, as you become a nail care detective and put on your detective hat and use the wet nail polish method, where are you leaving fingerprints? Where are all the smoochie parts all throughout the house in your life? So examine your life room by room. What role do your nails play in how you interact in your life in every room? And then how does your lifestyle affect your room, your hobbies, your work, all of those things? And as you figure out where those are, and you continue to oil and file and check in with everybody in the group and share your struggles and your frustrations and your wins, you are proving to your brain and the world, because it changes your results, that you are a nail care expert. That is your identity, with those small wins.
Exactly. And, post those small wins with us.
Yes,
I mean,
please.
simple one, like, just for me, it's still, how many years have I been doing this? And it's still like a big little mini win when I go, oh, I remembered to put gloves on before I transferred jeans and heavy white towels. Not white. Yeah. This family, no, I'm the only one who has white towels.
Yeah. Everybody else is inspired.
Heavy towels and heavy blue jeans into the dryer. It's still a big deal when I remember to do that. So share those small wins of, oh my God, I remember to do the things.
And we'll talk about that more next week when we go into more the specifics and habits based and building on everything else that we've learned. That when you share with someone else, that's giving your brain a big surge of dopamine and serotonin and oxytocin. It's like, I did a good thing. And then the group, we're here to cheer you on. So you get that validation and social recognition and all of those things that we really need as humans. So it's even better. So it's share those wins, because it will help build the case strongly in your brain that you are a nail care expert and you're winning.
Right. And I'm going to end this with the last thing, because we've talked so much about the negative thoughts that show up and that define our story. And sometimes it's easy to look at, we see these little cartoons of the little angel sitting on one side and the devil sitting on the other. And we really do. I have a good Anna and I have a bad Anna, and boy, does she talk a lot. And so one of the things that Kirsten and I have learned with all of the personal development and everything that we've learned is your brain really kind of remembers the last couple of words that you say every time. It kind of forgets all of the big long sentences before. And this is why when I learned that as parents, we usually tell our children what we want them to stop doing, rather than telling them what we want them to do. So when I learned that my children are jumping on the sofa because I kept saying, stop jumping on the sofa, so they kept doing it. Whereas when I finally switched it to stop jumping on the sofa, so I was still saying that negative thing, I want you to sit down. Okay, here, I'm going into my mom voice. I'll bring it down on it. But sit down. That's the last thing. And you know what? They sat down.
And so here's, again, to clarify a little bit or piece it out a little bit more. So it's like the I'm clumsy. So those things are going to come up. So instead of beating yourself up for saying those things, finish it with the positive. It's like, I'm clumsy. Oh, but I am practicing slowing down. I'm a biter. Exactly. Oh, I'm practicing oiling my nails and taking care of my nails. I'm sloppy. Oh, I am learning the fine art of nail cleanup. I'm so busy. Oh, but I also make time for myself and what's important to me.
Yeah.
I'm always late. And I am actively working to improve in that. So it's all of those things. It's like, so you're going to catch yourself in something negative and then flip it on its head. So like when you were saying your kids jumping on the sofa, like my kids, it would be stop jumping on the sofa. Here's the mini trampoline. So it's identify the negative behavior. This goes back to our parenting podcast. This is funny.
Right.
Identify the behavior that you want to change and then flip it and redirect it into the behavior that you want, that will lead you or whoever else is in your world to become the person. Give them that evidence to build the person that you want.
Exactly. And speaking of the trampoline, so we'll just finish this off. I watched your kids then just bypass the sofa and go straight to the trampoline.
Exactly. And so that's the building the new habit. So the more that you repeat it through the repetition, the more natural that will become. And then that will be the new normal. So that's great. It's not to say that the old normal, can you break a habit? Well, yes, you can stop using it. But like the analogy, like if you plow a 6-lane highway like LA through your brain, it's your neural pathways. Those are the habit loops. Your brain is always going to look for the easy, quickest route. Like Google Maps is like, we just found a 2-minute quicker route. Would you like to take this? And so it looks for the quickest route. Because we've had these habits for so long, or these thought patterns, these stories that we tell ourselves, that's like the 6-lane highway. So it's like, okay, we're going to go take this little deer path and we're going to like plow it, like clear up the trail and trim back the hedges and the blackberries and whatever else. And you're going to have to keep using it more and more to build that as an easy throughway. So it takes time. The 6-lane highway, if you don't use it, it might get some weeds and stuff on it, but it will always be super easy to slip back into it. And that's okay. Just redirect your brain of like, oh my God, I fell back into the thing and I'm doing the stuff that I wanted to stop. It's like, and I am actively practicing. You just get back on the wagon. I am actively practicing doing these habits. And so it's just like a redirect. So your story, everybody.
All right.
Okay. I will.
Have a great week.
Yep. Have a great week. And next week's going to be awesome too. So thanks again for sharing, and we will see you on the nail bar.
Bye.
Bye.